Hey,
Hi.
what's up? Let's see. I'm just gonna play some music and we'll let people in. Probably start in 10 minutes.
Okay.
How's that sound? There you go. Setting up. Nice. Hey, what's up, Booze Jammin'? Aloha. Thanks for tuning in. Cool. We got, what's up, everyone? How's it going, Froggy and Nicholas? We're just playing some music, getting some people in. We'll be starting here in about 10 more minutes. Maybe 8. Hope y'all having a good day. It's Monday. Hope y'all taking it easy. Hey, what's up, Original Video Rat? Y'all have to excuse me, I got a new setup, which is really just the laptop. But I'm plugged into the Ethernet, so it's really fast. I did not work today. I lightweight worked. I mean, I actually painted some end tables today. Oh, we lost K-Fresh. Yeah, so I painted some end tables today right before I got on and did this thing. It's really interesting living the online and real life. Yeah.
Oops.
Hey, it's all good. I'm gonna go with one more song and then we'll get to it. We have about 10 people in here. Thank you everybody for being here. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you guys. I'm excited for this interview, man. Oh, they talking a lot. This is the live version. Here we go. Wow. There we go. All right, y'all. Thank you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the music on my iPhone. I got a new setup going on right now because I'm in a new location, so bear with me. I hope you all can hear me. Let me know. If not, let me know in the chat, and I will try to fix and solve the issues. I pray to the technology gods right now. In any case, my name is Arthur Barinque. If you haven't met me before or know of me, I'm an artist, a healer, a community leader, and founder of Filipino Barrio Fiesta in Livermore, California. Today we're going to do a Heart of My People Award interview. The awards presentation is actually going to be next month, so please stay tuned for that. A little bit of history about the Heart of My People Award and Barrio Fiesta in general. In 2016, we received a proclamation from the city of Livermore proclaiming October as Filipino American History Month. In 2018, I decided to start an award program during Barrio Fiesta for those who contribute to the culture's forward movement, recognize the past, and put in work today. Oh yeah, I miss it too. Original video, right? But all things are coming to life really quick, and I think we're gonna have a Barrio Fiesta this year in real life. We'll see how that goes. Back to the past. So, what's serendipitous about this award, and funny because this is how life kind of works, is that I didn't have a title for the award. Uh, a month earlier, a man on a typewriter was hanging out in the plaza in front of the theater, and he was typing poems for people. I don't know if how many of you even know what a typewriter is? Just asking for giggles. Type a one in the chat if you know what a typewriter is, because some people don't right now. I mean, we're so far removed from that. In any case, this guy was typing poems for people, and we chopped it up. He told a story of him living in Hayward with Filipino immigrants, and of how there was so many people in the in the home as Filipino immigrants and immigrants in general live. And he created this poem, which became the title of the award. I haven't seen him since, and it's almost like he came into my life to give me the poem and the title and then leave. In any case, let me recite the poem now. Filipino Heart. I carry the heart of my people, steadfast as I make my journey through this life. The voices of the ones who've gone before me echo in my strength. They say, outlast the rain, the sun will shine on you, and that love is the only way. I will raise my children through the eyes of love as they may live a life with arms wide open. The world will know where they come from by the way they love. They will know their heart, the heart of my people. By Nico Martinez on September 19th, 2018. I think what's also interesting is he was telling the story of how Filipinos are like the friendliest people ever. And we may or may not be, but we do have we are pretty chill, and we do hospitality is like our number one thing. Sometimes it feels like that could be due to a lot of factors. I don't want to get into it because I can have a whole discussion about that. But I'm really thankful that he felt the love of our people just in his interactions in that house in Hayward. Um, Moving on, I once said that if I were to strip Barrio down and just keep it to its bare essentials, I would keep the awards section, which is funny because I mean, here I am, and we really are at the bare essentials. I'm literally on a laptop. I played music on my iPhone, and like this is just the tech that I have right now. Um, and I'm still keeping the awards, which is amazing and a blessing. So, with that said, I do want to uh, talk about the previous awardees. I'm just going to go over this list really quick. It's Paul Polsky Ruma, Robin Rodriguez of the Bulasan Center, Joe Achillesan of Bayani Art, Pauline Evangelista, Simone Hufana with Color Her Story, uh, and Livermore Philam organization. I think that that list is amazing. And to add these, it, there's going to be more awardees coming up in the next few weeks. But to add Caitlin to this list is an honor for me personally because I watch her and I'm continuing to watch her grow and be inspired by her. So adding Caitlin to this list is it's almost like a given because of all the work she does and everything she's done for the community here in the Bay Area, in San Jose, and worldwide. I mean, the little things that we do affects everything. That's just the truth. In any case, I do want to start off with a moment of silence. I do that at every barrio. This one is for us right now. I think everybody, not just in the chat, but everybody in real life. I want to have a moment of silence for all of us because we're kind of still in a pandemic, but we made it this far, and some people haven't. I've lost brothers, that like, and teachers in this pandemic, and I want to honor them in the way that I live and in the way that I move forward. And in doing so, I do want to take a moment of silence to honor each one of us that have survived a pandemic. I mean, literally, we're all survivors, whether we know it or not. So let's take a moment, and we'll get to it. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Caitlin K Fresh. Happy birthday to you. Yo, it was K Fresh's birthday over the weekend, I just heard. So I had to drop that. She didn't know that that was going to happen. So, surprise. Anyway, uh, let me get into the dance video and kind of show off one of K Fresh's talents. And we back. Let's see. There it is. Hey y'all, can you hear me okay? I hope so. If so, type a one, just so it's good. I appreciate y'all. Thank you guys for watching that. I'm so glad that I was able to see that in real life. And that was performed at Barrio Fiesta in 2018. What's funny about Livermore is that it's not considered the Bay, but then it kind of is. So it's really interesting to see both go on. Thank you. Good. I'm glad that you guys can hear me. Yeah, but to bring that culture and to bring that energy and just that artistic ability to downtown Livermore, it's never been done before. One, but it opened up people's eyes. I had students that attended Barrio Fiesta, and they were so inspired by that that they were like, "Man, these killing it! Like, I want to dance too," you know. And they've been going to like jams that I used to throw in like 2010, things like that. So it really brought back life and energy to Livermore again. So it was really inspiring to have that happen. And once again, I'm just honored that it even did exist. In any case, I do want to introduce my guest. I feel like I'm talking forever, but I'm not. So here we are. My guest today is Caitlin Briones, dancer, entrepreneur, teenager, and community leader. Also known as K Fresh, I was introduced to her energy at Mighty Four Day in Union City years ago. I would have to say it's 2018, but I don't remember, and I couldn't find any footage. So we all know how footage is. Everybody wants that. In any case, years ago at Union City Mighty Four Day, I just saw the style, man. That's what it is. Style is everything, and Caitlin had it and has it and continues to. Apparently, she's even better now. So I mean, let's go, right? So I reached out to her to perform at Barrio in 2018 because at the time we had been 2 years in, but I was really starting to integrate being a platform for the youth into into the uh, into the Barrio experience. And K Fresh, Caitlin was one of the first ones to do it, and since 2018, she's been rocking it over at Barrio, and so it really set the stage for you know and the model for providing a platform for the youth. For real, they put in work and they practice to get to those dueling banjos and put that in front of a couple hundred people. That was amazing. So it's really inspiring. And since then, I've been amazed and inspired by her and what she's done for herself, the Bay Area, and the worldwide community. I'm really excited to dive deeper and understand what it's like to be K Fresh. And with that, please help me welcome birthday girl, Caitlin Briones, K Fresh, to Barrio AKO.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Good, good. What have you been up to today? Did you go to school and do all the things? How's that?
I'm actually on spring break right now.
Oh, word.
So
Okay.
I was kind of just getting ready for this interview.
All right. I caught you at a good time. Awesome. Thank you for being part of this interview. We're just gonna chat. Like I said, it's nothing, too formal. We do have some folks in the chat. There's like 20 people, but it's all online, so it's not like we're on stage in front of a couple hundred people. But like I said, that might be coming back real soon. Um, I do want to get into your history first. Can you describe yourself growing up? What that was like? What your experiences were like growing up?
Um, Growing up, I was dancing a lot, but
Mm-hmm.
it was mostly classical styles or studio styles like ballet and jazz and tap. And I was just dancing all the time. I had classes. Even when I was in like kindergarten, I'd have multiple classes like per week. I'd have like maybe 6 per week. It
Wow.
was
Yeah.
crazy. Like that just started from a super, super young age. And I was always
Hmm.
dancing. I was even doing competitive dancing. And I just grew up around more classical styles.
Right.
And and then I think it started going I started like drifting away from that type of dance, and I still do ballet. Like
Hmm.
that's one of the main styles that I do now. And I started getting introduced to more like other types of styles, like hip hop and funk styles, like locking and popping.
Yeah.
And yeah, like that's just how I grew
Awesome.
up around dance. And also like sports has been like a
Hmm.
pretty big part of growing up. Like I would play tennis, and my dad played tennis and my brother played tennis, and I
Oh
grew up
yeah.
around them
Cool.
playing tennis. And now I play lacrosse.
Yeah, I heard
And
about that.
yeah, it's kind of different from tennis, but
Yeah.
it's a
Oh,
team
totally.
sport.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well,
but
you're
it
always moving. It feels like movement is a big part of your just like entire being, right? Like you're always moving, always dancing. I'm sure you dance in your sleep, you know? Like there's no way around it. And especially since you've been dancing at such a young age, I feel like that's probably just in your DNA now. Like looking forward, that's like your muscle memory is that, right? How do you take care of yourself energetically, I suppose? Like, do you ever rest or do you eat like 3, 5 times a day type of thing? Or how does that go?
um yeah, like my body, taking care of my body is kind of like an on and off kind of thing, cuz I guess sometimes I'll only take care of it when it gets really bad. Like I'll
Mm-hmm.
only ice my knees once they start to really, really hurt. Or
Mm-hmm.
like I'll only remember to do stuff once it starts to get really bad, which I'm trying to work on it. Like I'm trying to ice my knees after every single practice or every time I have like ballet or something like that, something that's really hard. Because there came a point where I had really bad knee problems. It was weird. I was like in seventh grade too, which
Oh.
sucked. And I had to
Mm-hmm.
do physical therapy. And I
Oh
think,
wow.
yeah. And it's really hard to take care of my body, but I have to like remind myself not to like listen to what my body is telling me to do. And
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
if even if it's just like a small thing, like I have to make sure that I'm not overworking myself and
Right.
like listening to my body.
Yeah, that's super important. I know, so I dance ballet as well, and it's like, dude, your body's everything. It's actually, I mean, as much as hip hop does it too. Uh, Hip hop's a little bit looser, but ballet really teaches, at least for me, having danced both, like ballet teaches you to like really listen to your body, uh, every
Yeah.
little part, and it's like, and it's just it actually they work together. It helps doing the ballet and hip hop. You're like 10 steps ahead of everybody, you know what I'm saying? But really it is important that you take care of yourself and listen to your body. You have that in you too, which is amazing because not everybody takes care of themselves. As you can see out in the world, it's such a big thing, health is. um Great. So then it feels like your history is just dance, and it's not even like it's your history. It's your history, and you're creating history, through your movements. Being who you are and being in the Bay Area. I mean, we can go on about Bay Area history. Like how did you learn that? How did you learn? I know you're with Get Down Dance Studio.
Yeah.
So like, is that a big part of the history that you've learned when it comes to Bay Area dance styles? And just dance like hip hop dance styles.
Yeah, I think they taught me a lot there. Shout out to the Get Down. Uh, I learned a lot at the Get Down and about dance and history, but I'm still learning. I'm still learning
Right.
about history and everyone who danced before me and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, you come from a strong lineage. I think groove mechanics is part of your lineage too. Yeah. Have you
Uh,
been taught by them or no?
yeah. Some of the people who have been in group mechanics, I've taken classes from them,
Mm-hmm.
and it's been really cool.
Good, good. How did you even get into? You started with ballet, but how did you get into hip hop dance styles?
Oh, okay, okay. So, um, yeah, I started doing studio dancing or like yeah, styles that you've seen mostly at studios and even like choreo hip hop or hip hop that you'd see that's more at studios and they don't really teach like the history of hip hop or how it came to be. And I think my brother, he went to another studio from the studio that we were at and
Mm-hmm.
then he started taking classes there and I just kind of followed him to that
Right.
studio and I started taking breaking class or I started learning
Mm.
how to break and from there I learned more about the history of hip hop and like hip hop culture and like the elements like and how it started in the Bronx, New York and
Yeah.
I also was introduced to funk styles like locking and
Mm-hmm.
whacking and popping. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. What studio was that?
So I
Do you
was at a
remember?
studio called Dance Academy USA, and
Mm-hmm.
then I started taking classes at Per Dance with someone named Richard, Scary Boy Richard, and yeah, I actually started. I was a B girl before I learned anything else, which is crazy because like nobody really knows that I used to break because I
Right.
don't really do it as much anymore. But yeah, and then now I'm at the Get Down and I'm taking classes there.
Awesome. Awesome. Oh, that's cool. What do you think it means to be a student of the dance?
Um, I'm constantly learning. I'm constantly learning from all my teachers or even other people who are dancing, and I'm not only learning more about dance, but I'm also learning more about my body and how I can move my body to express how I feel or how the music makes me feel.
Hmm.
And it's really cool, even if I couldn't dance, it's so cool to learn about the history of dance and where it all came from because a lot of it is super recent. Like locking, it started in like the 70s in
Mm-hmm.
LA and we're still around or the creator of locking he recently passed away but
Mm-hmm.
it's crazy that we're still around when we are because locking was created so recently and it's crazy yeah
Yeah. I feel that. It feels like it's not a distant past, and it's still like you can still reach out and touch it, like it's still in your face, right? As far as it feels like things have gone, especially with the studio world, and then the whole division between people that talk about the studio hip hop compared to street hip hop dance. Um, it feels like we're so far from it, but really we're not. It's like right there. And it's interesting. I ask about being a student because, you're a student to it and you have this thirst for knowledge about it, which not everybody does. People just go to the studio and, learn their moves, this, that, the other, and then they go home at night. Right. But what do you think it takes to be a student or have that thirst, that quest for knowledge? Or what are
um
some suggestions that you would advise to people?
yeah
Uh,
I'd say that you always have to have an open mind or you can't act like you know everything or you if even if you come into something knowing something or like knowing a little bit about it I think it's always important to keep in mind that you're always learning that you're always going to be a student no matter who you are you're always going to be a student and yeah it's it's not super hard to be a student of dance and yeah
Do you think that people, you say that it's not super hard. Do you think that people are scared? That's like one of the biggest hurdles to get into dance.
Yeah, I think that some people, and even my friends, like I try to get them to take dance classes and they're like, no,
Mm.
I'm gonna embarrass myself. They're like,
Right.
yeah, I'm not taking dance class because I can't dance. Like they kind of have
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
a mindset where they can't dance already. They're not going to be able to dance. And
Mhm.
it's even if you like can only do a two-step, right?
Right.
You're still able to move your body and dance.
Mhm.
And um people, it's like hard to, I guess, take dance or like be a student of dance or even just start dancing in public in front of people at classes because you feel like people are going to start judging you. And,
Right.
like even me, I'm still kind of afraid to do like at performances, I get super nervous. Or
Mhm.
even if I'm taking a dance class at like a different studio that I've never been to, it's really hard to do that. And I understand that it's really hard. And I think it just takes a little bit of courage or like understanding from the people who are even just teachers or like, yeah, just like understanding that everyone's a student or everyone's still learning and everyone starts at like different levels.
Mhm.
And it's really, I guess, yeah, especially if you think if that's like one of the major issues with that's preventing someone from starting dance, it's you just have to like just rush into it and start
Right.
learning.
Do you think that social media is playing a big part of it? Of people's anxieties and fears around just starting anything really? Because there's this perfectionism. Do you
Yeah.
see the perfectionism in social media, or have you seen that?
Yeah, a lot of the times I think social media, what people post on social media is just one side of something. It's the highlights of doing
Mhm.
something. Like if I was gonna post a video of me dancing, I'm not gonna post the bad one. Like if
Right.
I suck, I'm like, oh no, please don't post that. And I think what people don't realize is that there is gonna be a point where you're not like gonna be as good as someone, but that doesn't mean that doesn't take away from your greatness. Like
Right.
if someone is good, that doesn't mean that you can't be good as well.
Yeah.
And that person who you idolize or like who you see on social media dancing or something, it's not that's not 100% of the picture, right? It's not like if you see them in person, they're not going to be like 100% every single day, you know. There's going to be days where they look like bad or I don't know,
Right.
they're not like
They're not
perfect.
100% or something.
Yeah. And I
Right.
think social media, it's great because it makes things a little bit more accessible to people. But at the same time, it's not real. It's
Right.
not 100%. And if you just base things off of social media, or yeah, in LA, people spend
There you go.
like 10 minutes, right? They'll learn the routine. And then the rest of the 50-minute class is going to be just shooting videos, making them look good. And that's not, it's like just for social media. It just makes them look good. But yeah, you have to experience something in real life. And you can't just base your experience or like, yeah, not wanting to go based on what you see on social media because social media isn't real.
Right. I think we can just stop the interview now because you pretty much gave us all the gold to move forward in life. Seriously, I mean, you talked about humbleness in essence. It takes some kind of humbleness, even a little bit, uh, to even learn, and to learn about that which you love. And then also, that just have a little bit of courage to start, right? There's two gems right there. I should do this. Two gems. And then the third is, even if you think you're not as good as this person that you idolize, it doesn't take away from your shine. Like those three gems, and that's from like, yo, 15-year-old dude. Like, come on, you know? it takes a lot. I can go into my history too and talk about it, but that'll take another hour. But I feel like those gems are amazing. Thank you for letting us know about that. That's awesome. Like you have such a big life ahead of you, and it's awesome to just be like in your presence and in awe and like just talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't tell you to say those things. You just said it. So I mean, she lives that. And also shout out to the Bay Area because those are Bay Area things. Quite honestly, like this isn't LA. I mean, sorry to anybody that's in LA and in the in the chat, but like there's this realism in the culture here in the Bay Area that has been even before you were born, K Fresh. It's always been like that. And so like I talked about lineage earlier, but I feel like location has also given you this lineage that it's like, man, you are embodying ultimately the history of the Bay Area in a sense. You know, let's move on. So I know that I talked briefly about community, and you did too, in regards to the dance community, hip hop. Everybody in hip hop knows you. Um, but let's talk about some of the other communities you're a part of, like with sports and school communities, and some local communities that maybe not everybody knows.
Um, yeah, so I guess I'd say I'm part of the Filipino or Filipinx community. Obviously, I'm Filipino. I'm also, yeah, I play lacrosse. So I'd say I'm part of the lacrosse community as well. And then I talked about the dance community as like a whole, the dance community, but also like the subcategories, like the ballet community and the hip hop community, the funk styles community. Also the Bay Area, if that's a big community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. So when did you talked about being, Filipinx American. When did you realize that? You're super young, so it's like some people may never realize that. I live in Livermore, and there's some Filipinos here that don't recognize what that means, right? What does Filipinx mean? What is Filipino American? They'll say it, but they don't live it. So kind of describe what that means to you, and when you realize that, like, hey, I'm Filipina, I'm Filipinx, like, and what that means to you.
So yeah, so my elementary school, I went to a
Mm-hmm.
private Catholic elementary school, and so obviously there was a lot of, there's a lot of Filipinos because Catholicism is it's the main religion in the Philippines,
Mm-hmm.
and I think once there was like, I guess there wasn't that much of I saw myself as like Filipino, and I didn't feel any different, right? But once
Mm-hmm.
I was moved from like a private Catholic school to a public middle school where there's everybody from everywhere, I guess I kind of, it like broadened my eyes, or like what I saw. And I guess I started learning more about what it meant to be Filipino or Filipinx, and like my community. And there would be people who would, like, they were Filipino, but they would be like, "Oh, do you speak Tagalog?" And then I think once people started saying that, I kind of felt a disconnect, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a difference between Filipinx people in America and like
Mm-hmm.
people who are coming from the Philippines. And I guess I kind of felt like I maybe wasn't as Filipino as they were, or they were more Filipino than me because they could speak Tagalog, or like they could do this and I wasn't as connected to my community as I thought I was, because I
Mm-hmm.
knew these Filipino people, and I don't know, it kind of made a difference in like how I saw myself and
Mm-hmm.
how I saw the Filipinx community. So I think I started learning more then. Like I started reading books on the history, like Filipinx history in America, and how that's different from the history in the Philippines. Like I started
Right.
reading books on Manila, Little Manila, like in Sacramento.
Yeah.
I read a book called Little Manila is in the Heart by Don Mabalon.
Hey.
And I started getting interested more in my history and as a Filipinx person. And even now, I'm starting to cook more as a way to like connect back or and try to explore, where I come from.
Awesome. It's interesting because that story has a lot to it. I feel like, you came at dance and you said, "Hey, it's just even it's almost like what you learned in dance, you at first got the shock of, "Hey, wait, you know, I'm kind of like in a different place where I don't know like who I am in a sense. A little bit of identity crisis, a little bit, right? And so it's almost like you naturally sounds like you went to what you learned through dance, where you said, all right, it takes a little bit of courage, a little bit of humbleness, and you know, even if somebody like makes me think I'm not Filipino because I don't speak Tagalog, like I am just as worthy, right? Those are those three pearls of wisdom that you dropped on us all earlier. and and once again you kind of went through the processes of it, and and did that, and now you're learning just like you were with dance. You're learning about your history, about the culture, about Dawn, about everything that happened in the fields in Stockton, and all from Sacramento all the way down to Central California, Fresno, you know all of those things. Is there a book that you would suggest somebody of your age to read
Um,
when it comes to just learning like a little bit about Philippine X history?
so I read Little Manila is in the Heart. It was kind of
Hmm.
a heavy read. I read it,
Hmm.
especially since I read it in like seventh grade.
Right.
And,
So long ago.
yeah. Uh, but like, yeah, I don't know any like really, really good books, especially for
Mhm.
someone my age. And your reading level always depends on your reading level, right?
Right.
I had to like reread pages like 5 times just to like get it in my head
Mhm. Mhm.
because some of the words or like some of the things were kind of heavy or
Right.
like it wasn't what I was used to reading. But I'm not exactly sure if I have any book recommendations. But I would definitely recommend reading Little Manila is in the Heart, like no matter how old you are.
Right. Definitely. Y'all hear that, right? So that's like the fourth pearl of wisdom today. I'm going to speak a little bit more about the community, and then we'll move on to entrepreneurship. Um, do you think that there are some resemblances in communities, like being part of dance? Are there similarities in your lacrosse community, and what is that? Or doing tennis and then doing ballet.
Um, I definitely think that there are similarities, like the interconnectedness within the communities, and a lot of the times we can relate through our problems. Like in ballet, we'll be like, "Oh, my feet hurt." Yeah, my feet hurt.
Yes.
But another thing is that like sets a lot of different communities apart would definitely be their accessibility. Because I think
Mm-hmm.
ballet is definitely not super accessible for everybody. You have to
Mm-hmm.
buy a uniform, you have to buy leotard, tights, ballet shoes. If you want to get into point, you have
Mm-hmm.
to buy point shoes, which are like $100, and it's
Right.
crazy. And you have to pay for all these classes if you want to, be considered a ballerina. And
Right.
like lacrosse, I think it's also very hard. It's like not a super accessible community because
Hmm.
you have to buy your gear, your mouth guard, your goggles, your stick, which could be like, I guess, I think $50, I think would probably
Hmm.
be like one of the cheapest sticks. I'm not exactly sure. And I think, yeah, it's a lot of the time they aren't the most accessible for yeah, it's not like super accessible and inclusive. I think
Hmm.
especially the ballet community isn't super inclusive
Hmm.
because of that. And I'd say the dance community is pretty inclusive and accessible to most people because you can just go to a jam or you can play some music and you can dance, and
Yeah.
it's pretty cool because there's so many different people in the dance community, and I'd say that's one of the most diverse communities, especially in the Bay Area. There's so many different dancers and
Hmm.
dance styles and stuff like that. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. We can speak on that for and just have a whole actually panel discussion about dance and accessibility, uh, ballet to hip hop, in the Bay Area. Yeah, you're touching on a lot of good points. I do want to keep it moving though. Those are really good points. Like accessibility is such a big thing. I know here in Livermore, like I said, I dance ballet, and I was lucky enough to do so and get picked up. But of course, they always need men. So there's that. I'm sure that's like everywhere, right? But it's not. It's hard. It's hard for people if they want to start and they don't have those funds. I didn't have funds to start ballet. Luckily I'm a dude, and they're just like, hey, we need you to lift. So there's that. But yeah, and then on the other side, there's hip hop, which is free. It's freedom. Like I think original video rat said it's free to freestyle, and it's true. I mean, there's no freedom like that dance. There's no you can't I can't describe it, like, and the fact that it's accessible for everybody is just that much more. Because it gives people life, man. Like, and especially like we can go on about that too. But I'm gonna talk about entrepreneurship. Let's talk about your business, or not even your business. You have businesses. Go ahead and like name drop and gas yourself up a little bit. Talk about it.
um, so yeah, my business is called Scrunchies by Caitlin. I started my business, I think, officially in 7th grade. It was after I went to actually, I went to a summer camp and I learned
Mm.
how to sew there. It was called Stephen Cates summer camp. Shout out to
Mhm.
Stephen Cates. Um, but I learned how to sew and I was like, I like sewing, and that's how I discovered that and how I like to sew. And my mom got me a sewing machine, and I started sewing scrunchies. And my dad also has his business, which is called Fresh Vintage Wear. And I went to one of the events where he was vending, and I set up my own booth, and I got to officially start my business. And from there, it's grown to selling drawstring bags. And during the pandemic, I pivoted my business. So I started making masks for frontline healthcare workers and donating it to different hospitals and places where they needed them the most. And then I started selling them. And so I started a thing where whatever someone would buy a mask, I'd donate one in their name. And it was
Oh,
really cool. And I got a lot of donations through, and I got to support a lot of frontline healthcare workers.
yeah. That's amazing. How did you come up with that idea? Did it just come to you?
To sell masks
Yeah.
or to, well,
And to donate
donate them.
the whole program. Hmm.
Um, I just saw a lot of people who were, even if they were just posting on Instagram, like they were making masks, and
Mm.
I was like, I can do that. I have a sewing machine
Right.
at home. I can
Yeah.
do that. And so I just started um making them. I looked up like a YouTube tutorial on how you can do it and the parameters for donations, and like because it had to be like a specific fabric, and like there had to be like a color on one side and another color so they could tell which one was different. And then I just started donating masks to people. I was like, hey, I started reaching out to people on like Facebook or people
Hmm.
that we knew who worked in healthcare. Like, does your hospital need this, or do you need this?
Yeah.
And people started asking if I was selling them. And at first I didn't really want to sell them, right? Because I wanted to make it more about giving to people who needed them, especially because there was like a shortage
Hmm.
and there wasn't as much available to hospitals. And so I was like, what's a way that I could, people could buy masks, but I could still keep the donations moving. And I was able to get them out. So I started the thing where whenever you bought a mask, I would make one and donate one in your name to a frontline healthcare workers, and that really
Hmm.
worked out. And I think I was
Awesome.
I was able to donate a ton of masks. It was
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah. I was able to purchase scrunchies and also purchase masks from you, and I still rock the mask now. It's over there. But anyway, yeah, no doubt. That's amazing. Like it's it's such a heart of my people kind of thing. Like just hearing that story that you wanted to give, like first and foremost you wanted to give. You didn't, like, you weren't considering money, you weren't considering anything. You just wanted to give, especially, because it was frantic last year, right, when it first hit. And you did it quick too, like you pivoted like within the first month or two, and then to like blow up and do that. It's not like you wanted to blow up, you wanted to give. And that just shows your heart, man. Shout out to your parents, by the way. you know, um, yeah, it's not just you; it's also the parents. So shout out to your parents. But like, it really is you. I mean, me being a parent too, it's like people tell me my kid's good, and I'm like, yeah, I'm all right parent. But really, it's it's the kid, it's their heart, it's what they do, and so it really shines through when you do things like that. In fact, to the point that you were interviewed by the San Jose Sharks, right? I
Yeah,
think I put that in the links. Yeah, talk about that. How was that interview? Was it really formal? Was there lighting and makeup and stuff?
there wasn't. We were so okay. Hold on. So we were introduced to the person who interviewed for the San Jose Sharks through a mutual, someone who actually bought masks from
Hmm.
me, and
Oh.
they were like, "We know someone through the Sharks," and I got to, I got to do the interview through that person, and it wasn't super formal at all because especially um, we had to maintain social distancing, and
Hmm.
it was just like at my front porch.
Hmm.
I had like a lav that was recording audio, but
Hmm.
and then like a separate camera that was like recording me from super far away.
Yeah.
But it wasn't super formal. I messed up the interview like questions multiple times. It was like so many different takes. I messed up my own name and my own age. It was crazy because I was
Yeah.
super nervous. But
Right.
yeah, it was really cool.
That's awesome. I'm
And
glad you got to experience that. Yeah. That's that's like just like icing on the cake, right? For doing something that you love. You like sewing, you love sewing, and to be able to give and then to receive the benefits of giving, which is just being commended and being honored through an interview like that. I'm gonna do some quick questions. These are like business questions, and you can answer in like a flash round kind of way, unless you don't want to. Are you ready?
mhm.
What's it like to be a young entrepreneur?
um, it's crazy. I obviously don't have as much resources as someone who is older than me would have. Like I can't drive. I can't like own a credit. I don't have like a credit card that I can use for my purchases. I don't know how to do my own taxes. So that's like, so my parents have to do them for me. But it's crazy. And there's actually a lot of young entrepreneurs, especially since the pandemic. There, I know a lot of people who have started their own businesses. Like they started making rings or earrings or lip gloss or something like that. And it's really cool to see a lot of people my age starting their own businesses as well.
Yeah, speaking on that really quick, it's like, man, I can't begin to talk about how inspired I am by this generation because y'all are just doing it. You know, where I think we talked about it in the beginning. People my age, we kind of are like slow a little bit. Because well, there's a lot of factors involved. We have traumas and things that we have attached to, or whatever, whatnot. Maybe they haven't, but like sometimes we're more careful or trepidatious, and maybe we learned that from our parents and just the way we grew up. But now, like this generation's fearless. Like, I want to start a business. I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna give to frontline care workers. I'm gonna do it. I'm going to go out on the streets and just walk the streets and like, yo, chant and be about Black Power. Like, I'm just gonna do it. You know, like there's no pausing from you guys. I think that's amazing, and that's something for people my age to learn. And like and then the generation before us, like the elders, they're just like, oh, that's cool. They don't. they're, they had their time, but I feel like you guys are shining right now. Like seriously, with the way you guys do things, it's absolutely amazing. How do you stay organized?
I don't. I'm like not a very organized person,
Uh-huh.
but I write everything. I try to write everything down, and I have
Hmm.
a lot of stuff on the computer. I have a lot of organizer things that I have to keep track of, and like I think my parents help out a lot, just help me stay organized, especially when things got super crazy. They helped me out a lot.
Mm-hmm. How do you stay focused?
I don't.
There's
um,
so much going on.
yeah, it's really hard to stay focused,
Hmm.
especially like I guess. Yeah, it's like really hard to stay focused. Like even when I'm sewing, I'll be like, "Oh, that's so nice." And then I'll just like stop sewing for like an hour. I'll be like, "Oh, it's been an hour." And like my attention will just like shift super fast. But
Hmm.
yeah, I'm not a super like it's hard for me to get focused on one thing at a time, but I'm working on it
Yeah.
and I'm trying. And especially with like my phone
Uh-huh.
is just there and I can be like, oh, Instagram. That's so
Right,
nice.
right. Yeah. That's interesting because I feel like that also plays a part into your dancing and movement in general, right? Like you're always moving. You've been moving this whole time that we've been talking, right? But it's just those little nuances. It's just to say that, hey, movement is part of your life, right? And so I think on the positive side is that you are able to do all these things simultaneously, whereas like some of us older folks be like, oh, I need to focus on one thing. Right? Like you got enough fire and enough energy to just go about and do like three things right before ballet practice, that type of stuff. I'm imagining. So focus may not look like the traditional sense in that way, but you're still moving you're pushing everything forward as you go, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. No, that's a way to do it too. That's the K Fresh way. um do you set goals for yourself and then you reach those goals?
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
I have a planner that I sometimes use, and I set goals for myself like at the beginning of every month, or like you even set them at the beginning of the year. And those goals, sometimes I'll reach them, but sometimes they'll change, or I'll set them I'll set them back. I'll be like, I can reach that maybe in 2 weeks, maybe 4 weeks, and then I just keep pushing it back. But Yeah, my goals, they're constantly changing. Like some of them I can reach now, some of them I might not ever be able to reach, but I think it's good to set goals for yourself and not to like keep them super set in stone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't want to be like, oh, if you don't accomplish this by this time, I failed, right?
Right.
Your priorities just kind of changed a little bit, or like the way you're accomplishing something might take a little bit longer. But yeah.
Oh, that's what's up. I was about to ask, like, hey, with your goals, is it like you have to do it or else? And do you forgive yourself if you don't? Like, how easily can you forgive yourself if you don't reach those goals? But it sounds like you can forgive yourself easily because it's like, hey, some like the goals aren't set in stone like that, and you're not gonna force any negative, like negative energy on yourself. Um, in those terms, because it's your own business anyway, and you're just doing what you need to do, right? That's cool. Like, I'm glad that you do that for yourself, and that it's a way of taking care of yourself, that you don't like beat yourself up for like maybe not reaching, 5,000 followers or whatever the goal is. Right? Cool. Let's move on to what it's like to be a teenager nowadays.
Hmm.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I think that you're like still kind of like a fresh teenager in the sense that you just turned 15, you just turned into a teenager, you know? So you have this perspective that is like younger in a sense, but it seems like you've learned so much already, you've done so much already. So what is it like to be K Fresh? Because you are a teenager. What's life like for you right now?
I definitely say it's different. It's super different, especially now. Like school is not the same as it would be if
Mm-hmm.
we weren't in a pandemic, right?
Right.
Like my school is just I go on my computer, I log on to Zoom classes and I do school through there. And like I don't have friends that I like talk to in real life. I like text them or I'll call them, and it's super different because
Mm,
we're just at home all day and this isn't like a normal teenage experience, I guess. And
right.
it's really, I guess it's okay. It's
Yeah.
okay. There's not as much connection, but at the same time, there's a lot of connection, like especially through social media
Mm-hmm.
or
Mm-hmm.
meeting new people or like through mutual friends or like I I took like I took an intensive with
Mm-hmm.
Mini Mix Oakland, and I met
Hey.
I met a lot of people through there, or like even just people that I already knew before. I was able to like reconnect with them a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I also did like a virtual summit at Stanford. It was a
Mm,
business summit, and
nice.
it was really interesting because now more people can come. There are people from like India who are logging on to the Zoom meeting, or people from different states, and it was really cool because then we went on to a Discord server together, and now
Right.
we're all connected, and it's we're connected but disconnected at the same time, and it's really
Mm,
interesting. It's not like traditional at all. It's really
right.
different, and things have changed a ton, like in
Right.
just a year, more than a year now. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. I was actually going to talk about like mobility and like how communication is for you now. It's so important because that's just the way we live. And you touched on that a second ago. So that's great. Do you think that life is moving super fast?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't even remember middle school anymore. It's
Oh,
weird.
yeah.
Or like I remember when I was like in second grade still, and now I'm a freshman in high school, and I'm 15 and I can drive in a year, and I'm going to
Hmm.
graduate in 3 years. And it's really crazy. It's definitely moving super fast, but at the same time, really slow. Like a day will go by and I'm like, it's only Thursday. Like,
Yeah. Is it the
Yeah.
weekend already? Yeah.
I know.
Okay. So I'm going to like as a teenager for myself and for your parents who are my age, um uh, we I'm going to describe it. In the past, it was like, the South Bay is the South Bay, the East Bay is the East Bay, the Bay Area, the peninsula is the peninsula, and you go up to the 707, and that's just their own thing. Is that similar now, where like it's not, well, yeah, it's territorial. Like people in the South Bay are just like South Bay kids, and are like East Bay kids, East Bay kids. Like, can you describe them? Like, they kind of have their own thing,
Um,
or is
I
it all
think
one now because everybody communicates is on social media? Like, all styles are the same now, where before
it's
you
it's
would see
definitely
distinctions?
it's definitely we're like still, territorial or like
Oh
we
yeah.
still like, oh yeah,
Uh-huh.
I'm from the Bay, you're from SoCal or whatever. And
Uh-huh.
especially in dance, you can see it with like different dance styles or like,
Mm-hmm.
but online, I think it doesn't really matter. Or
Mm.
I, I think it sometimes it does matter because there's like some cultural differences, like in the Bay Area and other places, and you're like, oh, why do you say it like that? Or like, what does
Right.
that word mean? Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it doesn't really matter as much, or I mean, it still does kind of like I don't know. At the same, it
Yeah.
matters, but at the same time, it doesn't matter. Especially like when you're online with people and you're just
Mm-hmm.
talking, it doesn't really matter as much.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. Like, people, we were territorial back in the day because we didn't have the opportunity to be so open and expanded with social media and things like that. Um, Before, it was like we were just, we're stuck in Livermore, we're stuck in the Tri Valley, and like, we only some of us would venture out to like San Jose, like, shout out to Cupertino, by the way. Like, dude, I used to rock over there. But in any case, yeah, now it's like everybody's everywhere, and so it's kind of like this conglomeration and a bigger melting pot, really, uh, of everything, of cultures, And at the same time, I feel like maybe it's harder to keep to your culture. I don't know.
Um,
What do you think?
uh,
Or do you feel like it adds?
I
Like,
think it adds, or like,
mm-hmm,
especially, yeah, even on social media, you can see the differences between
mm-hmm.
places like that. And you get to explore new places. Oh, shoot. Sorry, hold on. My computer's about to die.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, you could see different places and you get to meet people from
Mm-hmm,
other places and like battles, especially. Like you'll see people, you'll be like, oh, they dance so differently than how I'm used to seeing people dance. Or like
mm-hmm,
there's different dance styles, or like, yeah, different, even just like in locking. Like if you look
mm-hmm,
at how people dance in the Bay Area, it's different than how people lock in like other places, or even like, yeah, like other places or other countries too. But or yeah, and like SoCal, there are like different types of locking, and even just all over California. Like I remember someone telling me like some people they lock, or like they're really big with it, or some people are just really really small and tight, and they're small and they move fast. And but it's like really cool because you get to experience and you get to add on to yourself, or like
mm-hmm.
you get to know more people from those communities, and it's really cool.
Yeah, I think that is that's a shout out to the past too, because the ability to travel was a big opportunity for people back, back. It was like, if you were able to travel, you were able to pick up other styles, and you were able to talk to people if they let you, you know, or even to go to a jam, you were able to see what was going on. Then you'd have to practice it too, right? Um, let's talk about COVID times. So, how have these times treated you?
It's definitely been a really weird adjustment
Mm-hmm.
because my school is mostly like their platform, their curriculum, it's a lot of online
Mm-hmm.
things already. But we did it in person. There was obviously still a teacher who was guiding us through what we were supposed to do. But I went from middle school to high school, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I never got to really experience high school normally,
Right.
or like I never really got to be around other kids in like high school because middle school is kind of different, right? And
Right.
it's not as serious, I guess I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and there's not as much pressure because it's not like
Mm-hmm.
going down permanently, and colleges aren't going to look there. Middle school grades, I
Mm-hmm.
think, right?
Right.
uh, but yeah,
That's what they say.
it's definitely been a really hard adjustment. Even now, it's hard for
Mm-hmm.
me to like do work or even meet new people because I'm staying at the same school. My school goes up to 12th grade,
Oh, okay.
and I haven't really met any new people from my school.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, school has been different. Dance has been super different. We had to
Yeah.
build a ballet bar. We had to build a ballet bar, and we have it in our
Oh,
living
yeah.
room. And I do ballet from my living room, and
Mm-hmm.
I do all my dance classes from the living room. And I'm just at home all day, and it's kind of hard since you're at home all day,
Mm-hmm.
like especially since it's hard to like keep doing work and like constantly working. Like if you have homework, you're like, I was just sitting here for like 6 hours straight, and now I have to do homework. Like,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's really hard to just stay in here all day and doing work and dance all in the same place too, because
Mm-hmm.
there's not really a difference in location, or like yes, there's not really a difference, and it's kind of hard because of that.
Yeah. How do you take breaks a lot? Do you like reset your mind, I guess? Like in between, class and in between ballet or anything that you're doing.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely have to take a lot of breaks.
Mm-hmm.
I've been taking a lot of naps now.
Yeah.
Like I'll just lay down and take a nap real fast, and
Mm-hmm.
I think that helps. But
Like a
yeah,
power
lots of
nap.
no, not even. Sometimes it wouldn't be a power nap. Sometimes I sleep for like 5 hours.
Your body needs it. I mean, you're later on you'll thank yourself because I mean when you get to my age, naps are like the best thing ever. They just are. And yeah, you are listening to your body, uh you know I'm kind of like you in a sense that I do like everything all at once, kind of like, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to contact this person, go here. Then it's like I need a power nap. I need 8 minutes. I do 8 minute power naps, 13, and if I'm really tired, 23, because that's just the way it goes. There's just so much to do, right? But it really is a form of taking care of yourself. Shout out to your parents again. But you still get it done though. You still get it
Yeah.
done though. Yeah. So that's interesting. I like that you touched on the fact that you went from eighth to high school and you didn't really get, well, you were saying that you didn't get like a formal transition because you stayed at the same school or because of COVID?
Um, because of COVID,
Yeah.
like
Okay.
yeah.
Word. Because I feel like my son's going through the same thing as he's going to graduate this year, and it's like they don't get that formal like
Oh,
senior. So it's like the transition is hard, and it's like
yeah.
not only that, he's transitioning into like adulthood or perceived adulthood, which is 18. So it's jarring in a sense, right? And so I wonder if there's any programs that helps like, you know helps make that easy for kids. I know that things are opening up, so we're not going to be in this forever. But yeah, shout out to all the kids that have gone through transitional years, like from middle school to high school and from high school onto adulthood. And those that are doing it, it's tough for sure. Um, so Let's talk about social justice and mental health really quick. With mental health, how have you kept up your mental health, if you have at all?
Um, yeah, I've definitely been trying to keep like just like my my personal health. It's a pandemic, like I have to keep that up, obviously, and my mental health. Like I've been taking breaks when I need them, or like
Hmm.
if I can't reach a deadline on time, I'll like ask for an extension because I'm not gonna like super push myself and take like 5 all-nighters or like try and
Hmm.
pull through even though like it's not worth it. Like I'm not gonna try and sacrifice my mental health just to get like to turn in something on time. Or
Hmm.
I'll do a lot of self-care. Like I started doing qigong, and
Oh, really?
it's really cool. Like it helps with my
Yeah.
breathing, and I think that helps a lot just to keep me centered.
Hmm.
And even just like self-care, sometimes it's hard to just get up and brush your teeth, wash your face. And I've
Hmm.
been doing pretty good on like self-care and just like making sure that I'm okay and that I'm good.
Yeah, that's amazing to hear. Like, I'm really, 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 really proud of you for doing that. For standing your ground and saying, "Hey, I'm going to take care of myself first." That's so important. I think that's something that everybody should take with them is that, hey, I'm going to brush my teeth because there's days where, like, if you're sad or you're depressed, I've been depressed, been diagnosed with depression and things like that. And some days I'm not going to brush my teeth. Like, I have no energy to do anything. And when the pandemic first hit, there was some harsh energy out there that was like, hey, I I just want to lay in bed. Like, I can't do anything, So I'm really proud of you for taking care of yourself, taking naps, brushing your teeth, and asking for help in a sense where it's like, hey, I'm gonna need an extension on this. You know, those are all really good things to do for yourself, and not just now. I think it's just whenever, just all the time moving forward. You're a strong person for it, and I admire that. Um, so last year there was a lot of social justice issues that were at the forefront of everybody's, just at the forefront of everything, right? Um, you want to speak about that, especially since we're in around the time George Floyd passed away. That was really at the forefront of everything, and man, I haven't even like I honestly haven't stopped to think about it until just right now. It was a big time. We're just going through a pandemic. Everybody's trying to do what they can, and then all of a sudden, we're hit with this whole thing. And it's not like social justice issues haven't been there. They've been there.
Yeah.
This is nothing new. You know, but they won't. It was like in our face. And so, how was I guess talk about your reaction and feelings, and then also talk about like once again, shout out to your generation for like putting it all together, like getting out there and just being like, yo, this ain't right, and doing things about it. Even if they're just protests, it's not just a protest. Like, y'all really went out there and did that. And even so, to the point that nowadays, that's like all I see on people's feeds. I see tons of like little groups and little clubs that have formed like social justice clubs at high schools here in Livermore. There's a lot of dissemination of information. They make it easy for you now. It's just like, yo, here are like five points about this topic, X, Y, and Z. Here are 5 books, X, Y, and Z. Like y'all really just made it quick and really made it easy for people to get like involved in that way. Can you speak on that?
Um, yeah, I think it was definitely like a bunch of it was crazy. Like it was a bunch of slaps to the face, really. Like at the beginning of 2020, there was a pandemic, and then George Floyd's death, and all of this stuff was happening simultaneously. Like you couldn't escape one and they were all happening all at the same time. And I think all of this definitely kind of exposed a lot that was going on already, like white
Mm-hmm.
supremacy and all of the stuff that was already, it was like already there for the people who have experienced it. It was already there. It's been there. It's always been there. But it's also like shown it, exposed it to more people, I
Mm-hmm.
think. And people who haven't experienced it themselves, they were now like seeing it firsthand, and it was really crazy. And I know that there was someone who started a group at my school, a social
Mm-hmm.
justice club. They said that they didn't know how to react to this. They've never
Mm-hmm.
seen anything like it. And they had to take a break from social media because they were like, whoa, I didn't know that was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Now they started a club to educate themselves and like
Yes.
show other people. And I think social media helps a lot with that as well. Like I see a lot of easy like posts where it'll be like
Mm-hmm.
things you can know, learn about this, or ways you can help, places you can donate, books you can read. And it's really, it's definitely more accessible just for everybody. And I think we're definitely taking some steps forward, but at the same time, like we're being pushed back a lot, especially now with a lot of the hate crimes that are being, yeah, like all around the country, to like AAPI, and we need to stop AAPI hate. And it's just, yeah, it's been crazy, but I
Yeah,
think we're moving slowly to the right place.
I think so. I think that as much as like, you know, social injustices to black people, to native people, to Asian people, to just, you know, to all people of color in general, right? Like it's really it's been there. And I think it's getting better in a sense that, yeah, you're right. There's more people that are their eyes are open to it. It doesn't necessarily mean that things are changing, right? But it does mean that more people are open to it, like have been opened to it. And so I think also that although we are going through these things, that there's a lot more people that are open and willing to help, which is weird for me to say because I'm like the first person that is angry, and like I'm the first person that will talk a lot of smack. Um, and it's interesting because I also feel that um, people are open and willing to help. Man, I really just said that in public, and it's it's weird. It's a weird feeling, uh, having gone through the experiences I've gone through, and then to say that, you know, to get to that point. And it's really, I think it's been brought on a lot for me from the youth. You know, y'all have really inspired this generation, you know, and further back, that generation to, and really opened our eyes, you know. And it's part of your DNA. Like y'all are just about it like that, you know. It's really an amazing time, I think, in those terms. But at the same time, I guess it's balanced because on the other side there is a lot of hate still, uh, and who knows if I'll see anything really happen in my generation. But I feel like something's gonna happen in yours, you know, and that's like that just gives me hope. Like that's all I can have right now, you know. Um, that's awesome. Thank you for talking about that. What does the future look like to you? Just broad future. I don't even know right now, right? If you were to zoom out and yes, think about your life, but think about just life in general. What do you think that the future holds for people in, let's say, the immediate future, 5 years? You would have just graduated high school and you're going to college or doing whatever you're doing. What does that future look like? Do you think that there's going to be some big changes in the next 5 years, or here's another question: what do you want it to look like? What do you want the future to look like in 5 years?
Um, well, definitely, I hope that is no longer COVID is no longer like something that is affecting as many people as it is, and more people have been able to, or everybody has been able to take the vaccine. Maybe we have like a vaccine that we have to take just so that we can make sure that nobody gets COVID. But yeah, I'd hope that everything is resumed, or like we're able to do this in person,
Hmm.
or people are able to dance in person, and maybe I've played lacrosse, like actually played lacrosse against another team without having to wear a mask. For me, I hope that I get into college. Maybe I'll take a gap year. I don't know.
Oh,
Maybe,
gap years. This is such
maybe,
a this generation thing.
maybe I won't go to college. I don't know. Who
Right.
knows?
Hmm.
But I hope that the future, at least a little bit of change has been made, and like something that isn't so much like performative activism, like people are actually getting stuff done, or maybe, yeah. But
Hmm.
it's so hard to tell, like especially
Right.
right now.
Yeah.
I definitely didn't think that like a year ago I'd be at home for this long. We didn't even know it would last this
Right.
long.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to tell, but I hope that the future looks pretty good.
Good. Good. What is one thing you'd really like to see, like really happen
Mm,
for yourself
for
and then for the
myself,
world? Yeah.
maybe I'm a little
Graduate
bit
high school?
taller.
Uh-huh.
I hope I'm taller a little bit, maybe an
Okay.
inch. I'm like 5'0" right now. But yeah, I
Mhm.
definitely hope that I graduate high school. I'm able to graduate high school. Maybe go to prom.
Aw.
Because I know
Yeah.
that's something that a lot of seniors aren't going to be able to experience this
Yeah.
year.
Mhm.
And even last year, the seniors weren't able to experience that. So maybe I'll be able to go to a school dance. I haven't gone to one yet. So
Yeah.
maybe I can
Aw.
show off my moves.
Yeah. That's awesome. Those are real things to look forward to. I think that you'll be able to do that within these next couple of years here. I think things are looking up. I think we've all really learned a lot, and I think the future is bright. Like just talking to you and knowing what the youth have done and are continuing to do, not just like we did it once. They really are doing it. I think that the future is bright. There's still people in power that hold the power and will do their thing, but we have to fight truth to power. um I'm gonna go with some extra questions. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Do you have any questions for me? Are you just rolling?
I'm good. I'm good.
So 3 songs that are just amazing right now.
Hmm. Um. Do they have to be like super current?
No, they can just be amazing to you. Go ahead.
Okay. Uh. I like Silk Sonic right now. I've been listening to that a lot with my mom. Like we've been listening. We know all the lyrics to Silk Sonic, Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak.
Hmm.
Um. Another song that I've been listening to. I don't know.
All right.
I don't know. Sorry.
You
Oh, wait,
can
wait,
no
wait,
no.
wait.
Oh, you got it.
Actually, what's that one song? 93 Till. Actually, I've been listening to
Okay, there
93
you go.
Till a lot. Uh,
Word.
it's, I don't know. I can't imagine myself just like listening to that. Like maybe in the car, I'll listen to that song. I like that song. Um, we stream on Twitch 4 days a week. I don't know. It's just
That's
the song.
hilarious.
It's just like yeah. Oh, I've
Um,
also been like listening to classical music, but like it's hard
word.
to know the
There you go.
exact name. But yeah.
Right. Shout out to Waltz of Flowers. Um, so, what are three cities that you admire their dance styles,
Um, cities. Can I just say like? I think. I don't
or
know.
places, locations that have
I don't know. Like,
influenced? Go for it.
yeah. I think. Um, U.S. Oh no. Uh, I think Japan and Russia. They have like really different ways of dancing. Like even just ballet. Like Russian ballet is super different than like
Mm-hmm.
ballet that you'd see here and like classical ballet. And their locking is super crazy. Like everyone in Russia is like just super talented. It's crazy. Like there'd be like 5-year-olds who are doing backflips. It's but Japan also they
Mm-hmm.
have really good lockers. Like they have a lot of lockers. Their locking style is really fast and really technical. And oh, my dad's telling me
Yeah.
the
Okay. There
Bay.
you go.
Yeah, okay, I'll just say the Bay. Santa
um,
Clara, my house has very good dancers,
there you
but
go. Hey, San Jose got y'all got the style, dude. Like I said earlier, I mean, everybody was in their own corner of the world, so it was hard to see what kind of styles other people had. So you had to develop your own, and San Jose definitely developed their own style. It's legit. Shout out to San Jose. All right. If you were to go back in time, uh, what decade would you want to live in?
uh I don't know. There's a lot of problems. uh I think I'd go back pretty recently. I think I'd just do that so I could be really smart. I'd be really smart. I'd be like, when I'm little, I'd be like a genius and then I'd be a very good dancer. But
Mhm.
like, if I actually had to choose like a decade, I'd definitely choose the 90s.
Mm, that's
The
what's up.
music, I can
Yeah.
listen to it as it comes out. It's gonna be
Yeah. Right.
playing
And
on the
experience
radio
that.
still. I
Hmm.
can experience that. I can like experience more things and it won't be like,
Baggy jeans and pagers.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe not the technology. The technology isn't like I can't imagine not having a phone. That's
Yeah.
but their clothes are I like their clothes.
Yeah. Awesome. I don't know. Do I have an extra question? I think that's it. I don't think I saw any Q&A questions either, so um, I think we're good. Yeah, pagers, man. Especially 90s
Ugh.
is the decade. 90s is the decade. Um, yeah. Do you have any questions for me?
Mm, no, I don't have any
Cool.
questions.
Cool. Phew. Glad. In any case, thank you so much for this interview. I know we kind of ran through it because there was like so much, but you said so many good things, and I'm just once again like you're just an amazing person, and I'm really really honored to have interviewed you. Thank you so much. Yeah, for real. And I hope this interview was informative and inspiring to everybody in the chat as well. This is going to be on YouTube here pretty soon, so y'all can always watch this forever and ever.
No.
Yeah, it's immortalized, right? Um,
Ugh.
but I'm really thankful once again, and I'm really thankful that we're just chopping it up, and catching up because it's been like two years now since I last saw you, and you performing at Barrio. So it's good to check in and just see how you are, see how things have treated you, um, and see that everything's good still, and in fact even better. I feel like you've done so much within this last year, and you've really grown. And you are becoming your own. It's really amazing to watch you become your own, and like you're standing in your power already. You're like, no, I'm not gonna turn that in. I'm gonna turn it in 5 days. Or being realistic too. It's not like you're messing around. You're like, yeah, you know what? There's a lot going on right now. I'm gonna do what I gotta do for myself. Like that's really inspiring. So thank you so much. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Do you want to shout out anybody?
Yes, I'd like to shout out the Get Down Dance Studios. Siege, he taught all of my locking teachers, Miss Nikki, John, Dennis. I've been taking classes from oh my god, brain fart. Anyways, my parents, my dad and my mom have definitely helped me out with my I feel like I'm on a game show. Like when, or like I don't know. But they've helped me out with my business a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
they've supported me.
Support's big. Yeah, definitely.
Groove Mechanics, um, they gave me the chance to perform in the video that you just saw.
Yeah.
And a lot of them I've taken classes, or I've just gotten the chance to talk with them, and it's been really cool. And everyone in my family, all my family, even just my dad's family, even if you're not like my blood, like you're still my family. My dog, he's definitely always been there for me. My brother, I think he's here. I think my brother's here. Everyone in the chat who's like, they've been here the entire time just watching me talk. It's kind of embarrassing. But yeah, I think I got most everybody. I'm so sorry. I forgot like a bunch of people. But yeah.
It's all good. I think that, everybody knows that if you got love for them, they know. It's not like you're on like lightning round right now, so it's like only whoever comes up top really quick. But yeah, I think that the community adores you. They support you, and and everybody that you shouted out supports you too, and that's really big. You're really bringing the culture forward, and that's why you're getting the Heart of My People award. I mean, it's really big. It's not just an award. I mean, it's a piece of paper, but really, to me, this award means something. It's like this light that I see in people, and you have this light, and you're definitely bringing us forward with it. So I am honored to bestow it upon you. I'm honored to have interviewed you. Yeah, and everybody, stay tuned. We have next interview on 328. Original video rat will be our next awardee. So I have a Heart of My People award interview with Fred Briones at 4:44 on 328. So put that on your planner schedule in your phone. We're gonna talk some more, and I'll have the awards presentation in May. So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys so much. Oh yeah, 4:28. Did I say 3:28? My bad. What's time anyway? Time is irrelevant. All right. I'm gonna turn my homework in 5 days. Relax. So yeah, 4:28. It's all good. Yeah, 4:28 at 4:44 p.m. Interview with Fred Briones. I'm honored to bestow that upon my brother. He's done so well. Um, Thank you all so much. We'll see you guys again. Stay tuned. You can always check this out on my YouTube at Emmerich Lifestyle. And then if you want to follow me, it's Emmerich25 on IG. Cool. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. Thank you, Caitlin. Thank you, K Fresh, for everything. Thank you for all you do and all you give to everyone, and you give to yourself.
Thank you
Thank
so much for
you.
having me. Thank you for the award.
So, yeah, no doubt. All right, y'all. Oh, this way.